Well, hello, everybody. Hello, Mike. You're so small
Good
today.
morning. Good Monday morning. Good morning from Colorado. I'll try not to
Yeah,
move so much because the internet's not so great here.
that's all right. Uh, just bunch. We took it in the shorts last week with the employment reports when it comes to the bond market. Meaning rates went up a little bit. They're thinking the Fed's going to raise rates again because of what the employment market showed
Right.
double what they thought. But when you really looked at the report, it was a lot of part-time jobs that they
That we're
added.
no longer,
No, that they added.
oh,
So
that they added. Okay.
yeah, it was not full-time jobs. It was a lot of part-time jobs. And unfortunately, part-time jobs don't mean they're going to stay there forever. Right.
That's very
So,
true.
and it is
They're called part
summertime,
time.
right? It's summertime. People are going to hotels and other stuff. And so they hire on more staff during the summer part-time that aren't there in probably September. So,
Yep.
all right. I'm just going to jump in some little things unless you have anything to go with real quick. Mike, do you have anything to say real quick?
It's warmer here in Colorado than it is in California. And you know what? I'm discovering that I'm too old to do major construction and painting again.
Because you're there helping them do all the finished work that needed to be done that somebody else couldn't do for
Yeah,
them.
that the contractor kind of left them hanging.
Yeah, it gets tiring as we get older.
Yeah.
All right, so the stocks opened lower and mortgage bonds started higher, which means that we're actually improving on rates today versus what happened on Friday. And it's just because they think inflation is going to come in. Well, let's do something else first. But
Okay.
basically, inflation they feel is going to come in this week as they expected or a little bit better than they expected, but it's going to be that core one on PPI that is going to be the real major. So,
Gotcha.
So I said this, and then so what was weird is first quarter home equity report by CoreLogic revealed that there was 0.7 drop in home equity. But the media is
nationwide though, right?
right, but the media has taken this as rates we're losing equity in the homes, but it really is because there's been a lot of cash out refinances for being done and people using their equity to pay off credit card debt, pay off the 24 to 29% interest rates, get it to, even though the rates are, let's just say they're 7%, that's still cheaper than 24 to 29%.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense for most people to do that, where a lot of people want to go get a second, pay off that debt, and then the only problem with that is you're not really paying it off over time because your first 10 years interest only. And you guys can reach out to me to go through the numbers because numbers don't lie. We
do. Numbers don't lie. I think that was a song, was it?
I don't know. Yeah. So in terms of inflation for Wednesday, we're expecting 0.3 of a read on both headline and core figure. That would be the CPI that's coming out on Wednesday. If we get worse than this, rates are going to get worse. If we get better than this, rates will probably still stay here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then on so what the biggest thing is, year over year, they're looking at numbers that are much higher now than they were lower. So if you go back a year ago at this time, we started seeing inflation really come in. And so now we're doing the year over year lower numbers. So we're going to start seeing the numbers go down from here a lot more than they were when we were like only at 4% a couple months ago, year over year. Now we're at, and that's what's happening right now. So going forward, we're going to see a significant change in a lot of stuff. However, the Fed is still going to possibly hike on the July 26th a quarter basis points. And I was listening to a bunch of people who are smarter than me, and they're saying the Fed's just going to raise. They're just going to. They just can't stop not raising because they're afraid, and they're going to raise, and then it's going to cause a really bad recession. We were supposed to be in a recession already, but it doesn't seem like it with unemployment the way it is.
Right.
So if all those come in the way I think they're going to come in, we could get a little bit better in the rates.
In the interest rates, the long-term interest rates.
Correct. The 30-year. Yeah. Because right now, I mean, if you look at the numbers, we're 7.5 on average for, so we're 7 to 7.5, depending on if you want to pay points or not.
Well, I remember back in my day, my first house was 8% adjustable.
Yeah, we're not even there yet with adjustables. Someone else asked me, should you get an adjustable? I'm like, we're still not there yet. We're not at those higher rates. Right. And the biggest thing is people are, looking at, I don't want to sell my house with this low interest rate and go buy another house and get an 8% interest rate.
Right.
So the real people who are doing it though are all the pandemic divorces are coming through, all that whole bunch of people are coming through and they have to sell or they have to do something.
Right.
And so if you're not going after them, you're crazy. So,
well, and if you're not going after the older generation who are finally realizing that they just are too house rich, they don't need that big house, they can't take care of that big house, that's a big part of the market right now too. Simply because there's no inventory, I say that's a big part of the market, even though it's a small part of the market.
right.
That makes sense.
It's the major life changes that are happening market where instead of
that's
people
where
going,
your market is.
Right. Instead of people going, I have a baby coming, I need an extra room. Those people are saying, hey, we're going to keep the baby in the closet for a while because we just can't afford him with this new baby and you not working all this. We can't do this.
But the people who lived with their spouse at home, who they loved very much during the pandemic, and then they're like, oh, you know what? I found out you're not the person I fell in love with. I got to spend 24 hours a day with you.
Right. But those took over 2 years to go through the whole process of getting divorced and all that. And that's what's been coming through. And I have a few of those and they're trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
So Friday is the PPI, the producer price index, and that's anticipated, I can't even talk today, to show a decrease from 1.1% to 0.04%, which is a year over year headline number going down. But if you look at the overall numbers, they're still not where we need to be. And that's why I said the Fed's going to raise.
Yeah.
I had that in the wrong spot. It should have been up higher. And then the rest of the week, we have mortgage apps tomorrow, applications, consumer price index on Wednesday, which I've been saying, initial jobless claims and 30-year auction on Thursday. And then on Friday, we have the PPI. So there's two major reports this week that can move the market one way or another.
Gotcha. So how was your birthday celebration?
It was all right. It was just me and my wife. She made me dinner and other stuff. And
awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't major. Amber's like, go do something special. I'm in Modesto.
We have a couple special restaurants.
Yeah, I just didn't want to go out. You know how it is.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean, we got a nice backyard. We got nice things, and might as well just do it at home. And then this way, I mean, you were saying you're warmer there. We get to 103 on what is the
Thursday,
Wednesday? Yeah, well. It starts.
Wednesday when
it starts 9. Yeah, I think Thursday is 99 or 90 something, and then it's 100, 306, 106, and 106. When you're back. So
yeah, and I'll have two granddaughters with me who will be in the pool all day long.
Yeah, or in the house. It's too hot, Papa.
It's too hot.
All right. Anything news on real estate? Anything happening?
I do have something to say. I just spoke to a dear friend of mine who is a realtor and listed a piece of property, I want to say last Wednesday before I left town. And when I saw it come across as a new listing, I thought, oh my gosh, that's kind of high. He gave me a call this morning just to get a read. He's a broker in the Turlock area, and he listed this Modesto property. He says, what was your first feeling when you saw that come across? And I went, oh, kind of like Used Cars. Have you ever seen the movie Used Cars with Kurt Russell, where they were
years ago
shooting the cars that were overpriced with the shotgun? So I just said, first impression was it was too high. And he said, well, 5 days we've had 0 phone calls, 0 showings. I said, well, there you go. You're too high. So it happens. Mostly just about everything I've listed has been a little bit below market, has sold above market, and getting the appraisal and moving forward. So realtors out there and sellers out there, don't get, I don't want to say greedy, but be cognizant of what is the correct price, right? Or you're just going to waste a lot of time.
Because nobody wants to overpay from the start, right? When you're already overpriced.
Well, and it's still a case of where buyers believe for them to win, they have to compete and they have to come in a little bit higher, which is true. So if you start too high, buyers are going to walk away saying, I'm not bidding over on that start price.
Right. So, but if you start right, you're going to get a lot of bids. So,
Yeah, and you'll be sold right away.
And again, it depends on the price point too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This was in the 7s.
Right.
So
I've seen, unless it's a unique property in a unique location in that price point, it's been sitting a little bit longer just because the payment on those things now.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The example you gave the other day, that's
right.
100% more.
Right. So that's like almost a $6,000 payment, which we used to be on a $1 million plus property. So
exactly.
Yeah. So you just have to
that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, all right. And yeah, you're available tomorrow or not?
I'm available tomorrow and Wednesday morning.
Okay.
And I fly back Wednesday afternoon. And I'll be live with you on Thursday.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Thanks for the stress point. All right, everybody,
I'll see if I can get that cattle prod delivered before.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you.
Guys.
And if there's anything you want to comment on or want us to talk about, reach out to us and make it a great day. Thanks, Mike.
Yep.